Hey guys, me, your host Super Soul. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm here today with my good friends David and Brian, and we're going to start this week's podcast. And it's going to be a WandaVision special this week. I'm your host this week, but next week the Real Marvel Hour will be hosted by David, and then the week after by Brian. So you can check out their channels as well. Link in the description. But boys, let's jump straight in, yeah?
Let's do it. I'm here. I'm ready. I've watched 2 episodes and I'm ready to get excited about them. But first, we got some news.
We do.
Yep.
There's the rumors that Chris Evans is going to be returning as Captain America. How do we all feel about that?
Ooh, depends how they do it, isn't it? Like, they do have a Captain America in the other universe already, so they could go that route. But
yeah, the Captain America that fought fought Loki and himself and all that jazz.
America's ass.
America's ass.
I know. I hadn't even thought about the other Captain America in the other universe. Yeah, when you start talking about multiple realities and stuff, yeah, it can get very kind of confusing. I feel like they will probably try to stay with their one universe, maybe, because otherwise it does start to get a bit confusing. And I think the audience might start wondering, like, wait a minute, what universe are we in now?
And it gives them Oh no, go ahead.
I would say all they would need to do, really, to be fair, is just because he's gone back and put all the stones back in their place, so therefore Doctor Strange will have the time stone in the future, I'm guessing.
Well, this is the huge eye-crossing argument where it's like they never actually made it clear, and stop me if I'm wrong. Like, you get the impression that if Steve goes back and puts all the stones back, then that reality will then just go on to become our reality. But that's not the case. That is, as soon as they go back in time, they make a separate reality.
Yeah.
So, like, that's, you know, so like they said, like, because that's kind of a plot hole. When he returns the Infinity Stones to the old timeline, we still don't have the Infinity Stones in our timeline. They've still been destroyed by Thanos.
Yeah.
So you know, the Doctor Strange, like, they need the Time Stone to protect, like, against Dormammu and stuff, and like there's no safeguards now. Or are there? Do I not understand? Am I the stupid one?
No, I think you're right. There isn't any left now in 616 timeline, I suppose. But like, if they go to the there's no guards now, so pretty much anything can come in. I think that's where the likes of Kang and stuff will come in the future as well.
So they would have to go back and get the other Cap from the other universe then, if they were going to bring back a young Chris Evans. Otherwise, it's going to be the old man Cap in our current universe, at least, anyway.
Yeah.
That's true. It's Joe Biden Cap, but which is fine. You know, I'd have no problem with that. But I think that they will want to keep it in our reality. But will they? I mean, do we have any idea what these rumors are even like implying? Like, is he just coming back maybe to film like a flashback sequence or something?
Could be
like
anything, yeah.
Yeah, it could be like a Peggy Carter dream sequence or something. So I think, honestly, that Endgame concluded Captain America's story. Yeah. I don't think we're going to get more Captain America. But, you know, I would like to be wrong, because it is weird to think that Marvel are going to continue with their cinematic universe without any Steve Rogers ever again. It's bonkers to think that might be the case.
But there's so many characters in the Marvel universe that they need to only have so many in the forefront at any one time. So right now they've kind of got rid of Iron Man and Cap, who have led the universe for 10 years. Now it's time to let other characters take the reins, really.
Yeah, which I'm fine with.
Like, it gives them an excuse to bring back anyone as well. Like, if Robert Downey Jr. needs an extra 20 million in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Let's go to the other multiverse.
If Robert Downey Jr. has looked down the back of all his sofas and he can't find that spare 20 million, it's like, all right, I'll show up for 5 minutes. That'll do.
But it's the Marvel universe, and as we know, nobody stays dead for long.
No.
Amen to that. And which, again, like, I'm fine with. I want Iron Man back. I want Captain America back. So, like, it's inevitable that it will happen. And I'm fine with different actors playing them as well. Like, I've got zero problem with that. It's just what happens. And, you know, we've had it already. We've had different War Machine, different other people have swapped over, but they've been like smaller scale ones. But honestly, it's just a fact of life. You can't have the same person person forever. And I think there's all the rumors. I don't want to veer too much into Star Wars territory, but they're talking about Sebastian Stan maybe playing a young Luke Skywalker. I'm like, I'd be all for that. I'm more than happy to recast characters.
I think it's the James Bond argument, really. Anyone can play it as long as the movies are good and it suits. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. I don't think anyone has ever seen a film where it's like it was a great film and there was a fantastic actor playing the character and someone was like, well, I didn't like it just because I didn't want that actor playing the character, even though they were amazing in it. It's like, well, now you're just trying to be difficult, son. Sit down.
So let's move on from that then. So that was the Captain America news, but we've also been shown the new She-Hulk figure from Marvel Legends, the recolored She-Hulk with a slightly different body, I think, from looking at it.
Is it pretty much the same, isn't it?
I call foul. Yeah, that's the same body.
It's the very same,
yeah. Yeah, it's literally just a repainted version then.
It is a lazy repaint of this lady here.
Yeah.
Because look, we all want, all right, we all want a green She-Hulk, but no one, I will put my flag in the sand. No one said, I want a green She-Hulk and I want her just to be a repaint of the grey one. And I'm sure maybe Hasbro were like, are you sure? Are you sure you don't want like, the purple and white costume? No. I just want my figure repainted, Hasbro. And I'm sure Hasbro were like, are you sure, like, you might not want us to, like, redo her again later? Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. An extra £20, please.
Yeah, it's so lazy, like, isn't it? The minute I saw it, I was like, oh, I just reviewed that figure about 2 months ago. It's practically the exact same, like.
That seems to be the route.
Exactly. Well, at least we got another head. That's something. I annoyingly though, what's really annoying is that the other head is the less interesting head. It's just a flat expression that it's this head that looks so much better on the green one. And actually, so now I know that I'm not only am I going to have the repaint, but I'm going to have the repaint with the same damn head as well. I'm not going to use the other head. I'm like, oh, come on, guys, throw me a bone here. Because of course I pre-ordered it as soon as it came out. I mean, that was never an option not to.
Like, I think the eyes are probably better on the new one, all right? The glow eyes are actually really nice on it.
That's what I noticed too. I thought the glowing eyes looked really good. And again, that's the annoying thing. Hasbro will do this, but they'll do it just well enough to make me want it.
Yeah, press buy.
Yeah, I'm hopeless in that regard. What do you think, Ash?
It's a lazy repaint. I'm not a fan of repaint figures. I buy them because Marvel throw things at me and I buy them, but no, I'm not a fan. I don't think I'll probably bother with that one. I've got it on order, but I might review it. I'm not sure. I don't know yet. We'll see.
Is this technically the first reveal of 2021?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a dubious start to 2021. Marvel, Hasbro really coming out swinging for the fences with a quick repaint.
Well, it's like when they did that. I know we're going to come on to WandaVision, but they did that big announcement the other day for WandaVision on YouTube. I'm not sure if anyone caught it, where they were going to show off all the, like, they were sort of like doing like a press conference and whatever and all that kind of good stuff. And I assumed that they were going to do like what they did for The Mandalorian and show us some of the merchandising that's going to be coming out. They didn't show a thing. It's like, no. I think so far they've only released like 2 pop vinyls or 3 pop vinyls or something for WandaVision. There's been no rumors yet if we're going to get a Marvel Legends wave or not.
That's really interesting. I would have thought that, yes, they would probably want to capitalize on that. But again, I've got no idea like what the means of production are like for Hasbro. Like, has the garbage fire that was 2020 like affected their production of creating MCU type figures? I mean, I know obviously they can't release them until the films come out, but maybe that's kind of halted their production for the TV stuff. Or maybe the TV stuff it's not going to get many Legends. Maybe they just want to do Legends for the movies. I don't know.
I was thinking. Go on.
No, go on, Brian. You go, mate.
I was thinking like there's a lot of these TV shows to come out this year, so maybe they'll do a wave with bits and pieces, at the end of the year, because you've like Falcon, Cap, and you've Loki as well to come this year. So maybe they'll do a mixed wave further along the line when they're all out.
That's a good point. So you could get like Cap, Falcon, Loki Vision, Wanda. That's 6. The 5 5. So that's the bath figure attached to that, maybe.
Oh, Ash, how naive of you. How beautifully naive to suggest that we would get an entire line all of just figures that people want. Where's the random comic figure thrown in there, and then the 5 MCU figures, and then the comic bath? That's what we're getting, pal.
Much like the Gamerverse stuff.
We're gonna get like Wanda, and then maybe like some random Eternals no one wants, and then a Thunderbolt Atlas Builder figure. Yeah, and I'll be like, what? Are you kidding me, Pam?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they'll give us a new repainted version of what's called Wonder Man, is it? Because they did him a long time ago, didn't they? And he's slightly linked to Vision, so they'll just shove that in there as a repaint.
There you go. And actually, I need a Wonder Man for my West Coast Avengers, so I'll take that.
I'll take Wonder Man too.
Red's jacket, Wonder Man.
He was like really cheap to get hold of, like not that long ago as well. And now
I'm so annoyed. I must have passed up on that guy so many times. Just like Multiple Man. I remember walking into Forbidden Planet and seeing rows of Multiple Man and being, meh. I'm never going to need that.
He's gone crazy prices now, like Multiple Man.
Yeah, I could have retired on that guy.
It wasn't that long ago, and I know Brian was around in the group back then. When the group first started for Marvel Legends UK, or Marvel Legends Community UK rather, Black Cat was like a $5 to buy from anyone. Everyone was trying to throw Black Cats at you, like, I'll throw in a Black Cat if you buy this certain figure from me. Nowadays, it's like, no, it's 20 quid for the Black Cat. Like, what happened there? Because everybody wants the heels off it for Mystique.
Oh, is that what that is? I wouldn't know, because Mystique is another one of those grails that the thing is, Mystique doesn't bother me because I'm just like, meh, I'm never gonna get it. I don't care. Whatever.
And Mystique could be anyone in your collection anyway. She's just in that form.
Right, guys.
That's a good idea.
I think it'd be a good idea to move on to WandaVision. I think this is going to be a topic that we're going to talk about for a while, and it is an hour-long podcast, the Marvel Hour. So let's move on to WandaVision.
Let's do it.
David, what are your thoughts on it, man? First of all, what do you think?
First of all, let me just say this. It is way too early for anyone to make a definitive assessment on WandaVision. I have been so amazed. So this podcast is pointless. All right. Thanks for watching, folks. No. The amount of people I have seen online be like, oh, WandaVision, what a disaster. This thing is stupid. I hate this. What are they even thinking? I'm like, you've watched 2 half-hour episodes. And so many people reviewing it. Like, one of the biggest complaints was like, oh, it's just like a cheesy like 50s sitcom. I'm like, that's the whole point. It's not meant to be a sitcom. It's meant to be weird and harkening back to that. But there's a veil over it that like it's not what it looks like. But the amount of people that have taken it as face value. I saw one person complaining that like, yeah, and there's like this laughter track. It's not even funny. I'm like, oh my god, like do you dress yourself in the morning, pal? But anyway, I really like it because what was the one complaint that everyone always has about Marvel movies? Oh, they all look the same. It's all the same cookie cutter thing. It's like, oh, they just want directors who are going to recreate the same Marvel look. And then finally, we have something that is completely out of the box. And people are like, oh, I don't like it. It's not what I wanted it to be. But there you go. That's my little take. I wasn't even reviewing the show. I was reviewing the reviewers.
I love the fact that your impression then slightly sounded like Macho Man Randy Savage, so giving a review there.
I've been thinking about this, and I don't like what they're doing. No.
Amazing.
So
Finish the podcast. We're not going to get any better than that.
Behavior.
I like the show, but I don't think I like Vision the way he looks right now in his suit, man.
Oh, yeah. Tune into the Marvel Action Hour when we're going to be doing all our reviews in the voice of Macho Man Randy Savage. Thinking. Say everything twice. Say everything twice. Yeah. Aaron, what were we talking about?
I have no idea.
I'm just popping myself now.
But yeah, so like it's just to rein it back in. So with the WandaVision thing, my thing straight away was this is kind of a mix of the Pleasantville comic, House of M, and the Vision comic all in one, isn't it? Really.
Good take. Yeah, that's exactly.
It's like they've taken the best bits of each of the comics and gone, right, we'll give it that idea, but we'll make it our own for the MCU. That's what I've got for it so far. The bits and pieces from all the different stories.
I didn't think about the Pleasantville comparison. That's a really good comparison. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And as well, my first thing straight away was, because everyone's just going to the assumption of it's Wanda that's made this universe, and I don't think she has. I think she's trapped there, and someone keeps wiping her memory. And that's why her and Vision have no idea how they got there, why they're there, when did they get married. They've got no idea, and I think that's genuine.
Absolutely. I was thrown by that as well. Just like you, I think we all went into it thinking like, oh, this is a House of M type situation where, you know, she's so heartbroken over the death of Vision that she's created this world where he still exists. And then all of a sudden, you know, what is it? We pan out to see someone watching them on a monitor. And it's like, oh no, there's someone actually making this. And that's kind of cool. What do you think, Brian?
Well, like when I started, I knew what I was in for, and I absolutely loved it from the start through both episodes. I think there's just such a horrible air of like something bad is really about to happen. Going through the whole thing, even through in the laughing tracks or something, and even just little looks the characters give each other. The neighbor, especially, is Agatha, is it her? There's definitely something going on there. I think she's probably one of the people maybe controlling it, or an avatar for the person that is controlling it. But like I love like the little nods. Like when the guy is choking at the start at the end of the first episode, and the wife gets like caught on a loop or something. It's like when Mrs. Vision in the Vision comic arc, she used to stutter and get stuck as well. It's very like that.
Yeah, like a record skipping.
And then Wanda kind of breaks character, and all of a sudden the Vision stop. It's little moments like that are fucking. Excuse my language. It's stuff like that that is dragging me in.
Show, start all that.
Fired. But overall, like, I am so happy, hyped to see where this goes. I, like you, David, I can't understand why people don't get this, because it is exactly what we've all been looking for. And the casual people who watch Marvel as well, it is their number one bugbear. Oh, they're all the same. Yeah,
that's exactly what they sound like.
I'm fatigued from watching Marvel. I'm watching something else. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this, and I can't wait for episode 3 next week.
So in episode 2, when we met the crazy blonde neighbor who's in control of everything, clearly for the children, there was a throwaway comment that I don't think was throwaway, and I think it was genuinely put there, which was the devil is in the details. And then obviously the next door neighbor says that's not the only place he is. That felt very put there and felt like a nod to Mephisto for me.
Keep Mephisto out of my stories, all right? I am so sick and tired of Mephisto. As a longtime Spider-Man fan, Mephisto, Brian's already dropped the F-bomb, but Mephisto can F off. I want get that MacGuffin ass writing crutch out of my stories. It's just, Mephisto is the equivalent of a wizard did it. It's like, how did that xylophone bone make the same noise? A wizard did it. No, I'm sorry, Ash. I'm vetoing Mephisto. It's not happening.
Tomorrow is a brand new day.
Even though Mephisto, even though in the Loki trailer, even though there's Mephisto in the window. Did you see that?
Is there? I didn't see that.
There's a bit where they stood in front of a stained glass window, and it's like a little demon, sort of in the like where the Jesus should be. It's like this.
I don't have a problem with the character of Mephisto. It's just that it opens up too many doors for them to just be super lazy, you know. And it's like, oh.
Because for me as well, with the fact that she's now pregnant at the end of the episode, they kept saying for the children. In the comics, obviously Mephisto takes away Wanda's children, which causes her to do the House of M storyline.
That's it. I didn't think about that because I never actually had cards on the table. I didn't read Disassembled back in the day. But it's one of those stories, kind of like those films where you see so many trailers and clips from a film, you think that you've seen it. You know, it's the same with Disassembled, especially because Brian Michael Bendis' writing is also very similar. Fight me. I was like, I don't need to read it. I pretty much know. It's like, quit, something tragic happens. Okay, next. But yeah, I didn't even think about the kids, but that's going to be interesting.
And as well, because my other take on it was, I sort of mentioned to you, Dave, I think the next door neighbor, Agnes, I think she's actually Agatha Harkness from the comic. I think that name is made up of the words Agatha Harkness, Agnes. And obviously she as well wipes Wanda's memory to stop her from going crazy when she loses her children. And
smart.
Yeah.
Brian, have you read the comics, Brian?
I have, yeah. Did you notice as well with Agnes, she has a little the brooch, kind of witch's brooch as well that she's wearing?
Yep.
It's very similar, like.
So I could see them doing that and then using her as kind of, she's the reason Wanda can't remember anything. Maybe they've been trapped there a while, going in a loop, like you say, and Agatha keeps wiping the memory when they learn too much to keep them there.
Now, this is one thing that I just sort of thought of randomly, and what do you guys think? This is definitely set after Endgame. You don't think this is actually during the 5-year gap? This is definitely post Endgame.
Didn't even think of when it could appear in the timeline. Didn't even think.
Oh, actually, no. Having said that, though, is that me being stupid? She was dusted, wasn't she? Wanda was dusted.
She was, yeah.
So actually, no.
Yes,
that wouldn't make sense. So okay. Forget that theory.
But this could still be set before Endgame or Infinity War. Technically, doesn't matter when it's set. This could be set where Wanda and Vision are on the run.
That's very true, actually. I mean, they haven't done anything to date it. They haven't said specifically that Vision is dead or whatever. But yeah, I think we might be barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah.
But if it turns out to be right, folks, remember where you heard it first.
Personally, I think it's definitely set after Endgame, because when she comes back from being dusted, she's straight into a battle with Thanos and his forces, or Thanos, whatever you want to pronounce it. And she hasn't really had time to process everything that went on while she was gone, or before she went, with Vision being killed and all that. So I think maybe once everything quietens down, something happens to her, or somebody happens to her, and that's I would put, for me, it would be right after Endgame where this is placed.
I'm sure you're right.
Makes the most logical sense to my mind, anyway.
Yeah, because really, I feel like this is the first proper glimpse of the world post Endgame that we've had, because I barely even count Spider-Man Far From Home, because that felt like an epilogue to Endgame, not like an actual real sort of extension. I really didn't like Far From Home. I like bits of it, but I don't want to get into the weeds of that. That's a different discussion. But yeah, I'm sure this is definitely taking place afterwards, and it's great to see that Marvel haven't like drawn a line at the end of Endgame and gone, okay, forget all that stuff. It's all new stuff now. And the fact that we're getting all these wonderful callbacks to things like, I'm sure you'll want to go into, Strucker and like Hydra type things, that's really exciting.
Yeah, the fake adverts from the episodes, very interesting. Yeah.
It reminded me of Metal Gear Solid 4, Sons of the Patriots. If you guys have ever played that, they have like faux commercials in that. It totally reminded me of that.
For me, it was making me laugh because it reminded me of Starship Troopers. Would you like to know more? But I think those adverts are there on purpose. I really do. I don't think anything is put in by accident by Marvel at all. And
no,
again, me being me and just overthinking everything. The advert with the Stark toaster, there was the beep and the look on their faces as it beeped and stuff. Are these two people meant to be Wanda's parents? And that's the bomb that killed them, the Stark bomb that Wanda and her brother had to stare at for wherever it was they said in the film. I can't remember.
I didn't make that connection at all when I was watching it. I didn't think that, because just between the three of us, I'm not that clever. But I watched in preparation for this interview so that I could seem really smart. I read like a top 10 hidden Easter eggs article. I probably shouldn't have told you that. But yeah, they mentioned that, yes, that completely harkens back to their story about staring at the name Stark and like the flashing light being very ominous. So yeah, now that you say that, totally. So it's like, it's clear that maybe this world is like maybe, you know, this world is being powered and created by Wanda's subconscious, but it's someone else who's trapping her in that. So yeah, it's made up of her fantasies and her memories, but it's not her choice to be in there.
Yeah, it's like each of the adverts are like memories of her traumas in the past the Stark toaster thing, like, and robots, androids, etc., are often referred to derogatorily as toasters. And the Strucker watch thing as well. He says something about your past. This is your future. So maybe you've got, she's stuck here for a certain time. That could be the watch, and referring back to Strucker teaching them things as well, or whatever he did to them back then.
And I'm probably going well overboard here, but the watch ticks. It's ticking for a minute, and that whole thing's a minute long, and it ends with it ticking on to 2:42. And this is really crazy. If you look at Avengers 2:42, right, that is when Vision is repaired, and it's when he comes back to the Avengers. The Vision is repaired, and he needs to be a part of the team with Wanda because the Beyonder is coming.
You're such a nerd.
Wow.
No, that stupid reference took me hours to look for. I was suddenly going, that 242 means something.
but the thing is, I'm sure it does. Like, I just saw someone else pointed out online that there was a statue in the shape of the Wizard.
Yes, I saw that as well.
I'm like, I would never have got that. Like, the amount of, that's what's so great about the Marvel sort of cinematic universe is, like, it's clearly no one is trying to Kathleen Kennedy it, where they're like, oh, this thing's popular, let me remake it in my own way so I can have my legacy. It's like, no, this thing's really popular, let's embrace everything about it, and that's what's so great. It's like, they're literally like, this is awesome, people love it, let's give it to them. And it's not someone going, this is awesome, let me glom some fame off of it.
If you look in the background of Star Wars stuff, you can probably see someone in jeans. Here you see Easter eggs.
Yeah. Look, it's literally Kathleen Kennedy staring at you, waving. Sorry, I just threw up in my mouth a bit. Hang on. There you go.
That's okay. I think we all did.
I hate modern Star. Actually, I feel really bad. I was invited on a Star Wars live stream thing with 5 other guys, and I felt so bad because I kind of came on and just trashed Star Wars, and I was like, oh gosh, I'm sorry. This is a positive Star Wars show, isn't it? I'll get my coat. But anyway, what were you saying? Yeah, so many Easter eggs, man. It's amazing. Yeah.
And as well, there was the as daft as it sounds, again, all the songs so far have been about being held against, in captivity or against your will. Every song, even down to Old MacDonald, because the animals don't want to be there. As daft as that sounds, every
it's
song,
mad.
And especially because the Beach Boys song that they sing at the very end of the episode, of the second episode. The entire verse of lyrics is "Save me, Wanda, save me, Rhonda." Yeah,
that one at least that wasn't too subtle. I managed to pick up on that one, but yeah, I love the fact that the second episode was all about a magic act, an illusion, something like the wool being pulled over your eyes. I thought that was really, really clever. The symbolism of the White Rabbit is a philosophy-based acknowledgement, because there are various philosophical ideas and terms in the notion that we as people are all fleas on the end of a white rabbit's hair, and basically the White Rabbit is a magic trick. The universe is a magic trick. And it's such an amazing thing, because we're so close to it as a little flea. We don't even realize it's happening around us, and we just nestle down in the bunny. That's like a little philosophy thing for you. So I don't know if they thought that, but that's actually a great sort of tie-in to the idea of the whole world being fake.
Yeah, that's really deep. I like that.
Yeah, that's it. Read some little. GCSE level philosophy, I've just about got there. Anything more than that, that's like my fortune cookie philosophy. Sometimes to go forward, you must go back.
What did we think to the? Obviously, we now know that it's Sword that's watching them, SWORD.
Yeah, that was an interesting take, because that moves things in a different direction, because you assumed, or I assumed at the end of Far From Home, that Nick Fury is up on the space station and that's Sword. But maybe it's not. Maybe they're reinterpreting Sword as something else, or maybe it is. I don't know. What do you think?
We don't know yet. I've got a feeling they're going to use something from the Pleasant View sort of story, where it's now Maria Hill is now the person behind Sword, and it's like a subsidiary of Shield or something, and it's going to be a new version of it, and they're just keeping an eye on him or something. But it might be something completely sinister. It could be the new Hydra is now Sword. You know what I mean? Like the modern day equivalent of like a Hydra sort of person could be Sword.
Oh, what if like the whole point of Sword is, you know, kind of like Shield. It's that kind of, you know, protective kind of thing. So we were thinking that maybe they were, you know, maybe this person, if Wanda has been forced into this thing, maybe it's like a sinister thing that someone's doing to her. But what if, like in the real world, Wanda has gone bonkers and she's a danger to herself and everyone else. So to protect her and the rest of the world, they've had to put her in here to, you know, not as an evil scheme, but, you know, so
her,
all the people like her neighbor who we think are nefarious are actually, you know, like Sword agents just trying to protect the world from Wanda.
Yeah,
that could be interesting.
But where does in that theory then where does Jimmy Woo fit in, calling out to her on the radio and at the end of episode 1?
Help me out there. I forget who's Jimmy Woo. We've met him.
He was in Ant-Man 2. He was the guy constantly checking on Ant-Man that he was staying in the house. I think he's a Shield agent or Fed or some sort anyway. And he's the one saying to her, Wanda, what are they doing to you? What are they doing? So
okay. Because yeah, so someone said that was Jimmy Woo's voice on the radio, and I was like, I got nothing.
Yeah. There's still a lot of questions, definitely. And obviously we're saying that she's being controlled by this universe, but at the very end of that episode, she was the one that made the guy go away. She changed time again.
Yeah, that was really interesting. It was a very similar moment to when, you know, she kind of broke character and told Vision to help the guy who was choking. It was like, okay, I'm like, Mama's home. This is what's happening. Because that was really cool. And of course, we all know who the beekeeper is like a reference to, yeah?
He had a Sword logo on his back as well. I don't know if it's actually but did
he have a Sword logo? I didn't see
I
that.
think so,
logo on his back, yeah, he did.
No, I'm bad at this.
But I saw someone saying as well, you know, when that guy is questioning her at the end of the first episode, the Vision's boss, that you can see her make a face or kind of a winking face to him, that maybe she made him choke because he was questioning her so much and she didn't know what was, she had no answers for him. So I think she is in control of certain aspects of this reality, but not overall, if you get me.
Yeah, because obviously Vision was like, sometimes it feels like, you know, when they're doing them moments where it's like she's saying, stop it, help him, all that kind of stuff. It almost looks painful. Like Vision didn't look comfortable. Like he's sat there and he's just sort of looking and he's got that look on his face. Is it kind of like he knows something's wrong, but he can't do anything about it? He's being held by something, some mystical power stopping him.
I think he does when it showed him at his workplace. And he's like, what is it we actually do? Why am I here? Yeah. He definitely knows something's up and he's trying to figure it out, but he just can't.
Yeah, I'm so glad that this is a thing, because I love Paul Bettany's portrayal of Vision in Age of Ultron and his small appearances afterwards. I always thought he was a highlight. So I'm so glad to like see him back, and especially with like the bizarre show that we have, it gives him so much more free reign. He's not just the stoic Vision, like, you know, when he has the whole sort of chewing gum drunk kind of thing. I mean,
that was
stop me if I'm wrong, but I was totally getting some Hugh Laurie from Blackadder vibes from his character there. But I thought it's just great to see him kind of cut loose and be more of a character, because I was gutted when they killed him off in Infinity War.
Oh yeah, very good. But I don't think we'll see the end of him. I still think there's something to do with Shuri, and that when she was trying to examine the stone, there's going to be something to bring Vision back at some point. There's got to be. Yeah,
I think Vision has more of a chance of coming back than Shuri does at the moment.
Yeah. Although they did say that they're not recasting rightly as well. They're not recasting Black Panther, are they? They're going to continue the story as is.
Yeah, and I'm all for that. I think that's a nice. Yeah, I think it's a good thing to do, and I think, you know, I would have been really down with Shuri kind of taking on the mantle of Black Panther. And honestly, like I don't want to get all political or anything, but I hate cancel culture. I mean, I think she said some stupid stuff, but I don't think you should have your career destroyed for having an opinion, whether or not it's a garbage opinion. But but still, I don't want to get on that platform. Subscribe to Moral Behavior for those rants. But but yeah, I'm really excited to see it. And I didn't even think about them analyzing the stone in Wakanda, what that might mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it was 97% complete or something when Vision broke out and to save her or whatever. So I mean, they were close to doing something on that machine. We don't know what, but we know they were close to doing something. They
backed him up, basically. They backed him up on the hard drive.
That would be the laziest way of bringing him back, but you never know.
So basically, Vision is Rimmer.
Well, technically, Vision's just AI, isn't he? He's just a
computer program.
He's a code, isn't he? Really?
Yeah. Well,
No.
it always was. He was sort of Jarvis, but then it was the Infinity Stone that kind of gave him that sentience, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I think like the Infinity Stone, like that's the kind of intangible like spark of life that you couldn't get from like a regular android. So it's whether or not they can recreate that. Maybe they can do. You know, you just they can do whatever they want. It's just whether or not they do it well.
Yeah.
We'll probably get the full-on White Vision, I'd say, if he comes back, because it'll be something Wakanda do to, like, I don't know, do something to replace the Infinity Stone, maybe, to power him. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. It's hard to know.
We've replaced it with a piece of chalk. There you go. And then White Vision.
You are now an actual toaster.
And makes French fries in 4 different shapes. But yeah, I just love the fact that, you know, 2 episodes in, we can debate so much and speculate so much about this. I think it's incredibly ballsy of Marvel with like their first MCU, not counting the Netflix shows because they don't count. You know, their first MCU TV show to actually just go completely off the reservation and do something so original.
And like we could probably chat for even longer. There's loads we even missed, I would say. Like the helicopter as well from the start of episode 2.
Yeah.
The toy helicopter was in full color. I've seen some people say like someone sent in a drone, but her reality powers turned it into a toy helicopter, which is mental if that's the case.
Well, there's no reason why it couldn't be. I didn't know what to make of the helicopter either. I mean, obviously it was, you know, like Tony Stark colors. But it had the sword logo on, and I didn't even notice the sword logo until someone pointed it out. And I'm like, oh, okay.
There was
clearly Big Brother is watching.
There was a featurette, you know, one of the featurettes, one of the trailers for it that they released like 1,000 of before the episodes. There was one where you saw the full-size helicopter in our world heading towards the big red force field around whatever that is, and then we saw that in the episode. So I'm not sure if that's just Wanda's defense powers turning it small to stop it crashing or something.
But particles.
Yeah, but I don't. For some reason, she was inside when that happened, and I had no idea. So that could be maybe the Agatha character that's done that to stop it from crashing into something. Or
how many episodes are we getting? How long is this? Do we know?
I think it's
10.
9.
Was it 9?
9, yeah. And then the next show is 6 1-hour episodes. I think that's how they're doing it, alternating.
Okay. Already I'm mourning the loss of the show before it's even finished. I want this to like run and run.
I've got a feeling though the main sort of background characters are going to be the same across all of them. So I've got a feeling whatever villain we find out in WandaVision is obviously going to be a part of Doctor Strange 2. But it has some form of knock on to Spider-Man that we're aware of. But there's got to be something to link it to like Cap and Winter Soldier and the Baron Zemo and all that kind of stuff. There's got to be a way of linking it all together. And the fact that we've already seen a Strucker watch with the Hydra logo on it, and the main villain for Winter Soldier and Captain America is going to be, is it Baron Zemo? He's back, isn't he? Is it Baron Zemo?
Yeah.
So I mean, he's Hydra.
Yeah, I love the fact that it is so interconnected. I'm sure that's what they're going to do, because obviously it's in their interests to make every show unmissable. You know, it needs to be like, oh, I can't watch, you know, WandaVision but not watch Winter Soldier, because then I'll miss out on the story. And that's exactly what I want. You know, I want it all to be one big cohesive universe, which is probably a nightmare for anyone to try and coordinate. But the fact that they're doing it, I'm really amazed by. And that's something that I think maybe, like, they announced all the Star Wars TV shows, and I think that those might struggle a little bit because they sound more independent of each other, whereas Marvel seems so much more cohesive, because obviously it's all happening at the same time in the same universe. So yeah, I'm so on board to see how they mix it all up.
Like,
Well,
like
guys-
my own feeling on it was like whatever happens at the end of this is going to bleed into Doctor Strange, and it'll end up smashing open all the realities. Where that's where you're going to possibly have your entrance door for the X-Men and all these other characters that they've gotten the rights to recently as well. So it's so interesting what's going to happen in the future, and I'm down for it.
Well, what do you guys think? Do you think, you know, we're going to have mutants just, you know, occur in the MCU, or do you think they're going to do the X-Men as like a multiple reality crossover kind of thing?
I think they missed a perfect opportunity to introduce mutants after the snap, and they brought everybody back. That could have been a trigger that people that had the X gene already in them that could have triggered it. The stress of the snap could have triggered the X gene. And I think that could have been the easiest way of writing in mutants now exist.
That would have been really clever, actually. So yeah, by the time Endgame comes around, you've had mutants for 5 years.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Captain Hindsight would definitely approve of that. It's like that would have worked out pretty well. Although I guess, you know, what the good thing about the end of Endgame was that was literally every superpowered person in the world in one place, which was pretty badass.
Yeah.
Like, I think you're going to have to change a lot of origin stories if you go that route, like likes of Magneto and Professor X especially. But I'm all down for, like, I think they could come through a different reality, although it would be very convoluted or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I would like it to just. You're right. They would absolutely have to change origin stories, but I would much rather it all happens in one cohesive universe, you know. And then they can, like, you know, have Shield say, like, you know, oh yeah, we've had, you know, files about superpowered people that have popped up here and there, but, you know, we kept all hush hush or whatever. So they could say that mutants have been around for a while, but, you know, there's always going to be plot holes, like, you know, oh, what were they doing the Battle of New York then? That's like, hey, just shut up, enjoy the show, all right?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I'm so down for having mutants, and I mean, again, like the next few years are going to be bonkers with X-Men and Fantastic Four and all this new stuff coming in. So this is just the tip of the iceberg, and yeah, they've got off to for a post Endgame world, they've got off to a really exciting start.
Yeah, definitely, fantastic start.
Right,
yeah,
guys.
so hopefully they'll build up some good credit with the audience before Eternals absolutely bombs.
But yeah,
I'm calling it. I'm calling it now. I don't want to be that guy, but it's they've got to have a failure at some time or another. The gravy train has got to run dry at some point, and everything I see from Eternals is like, ooh, I don't know about this.
It is definitely one of those storylines that I think more people are not familiar with. But again, we said this about I know that me and my friends did. We said this about Guardians of the Galaxy. A lot of people thought that was going to flop. A rip off Star Wars is what people called it in the press and all that. And then that came out and it absolutely blew people away. So
you're absolutely right.
We don't know.
I'm highly intrigued for it anyway.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah,
I think certainly what Guardians of the Galaxy had going for it was it because it had the humor. They could have that humorous, comedic, don't take themselves too serious kind of edge. And I think that's maybe they will have that with Eternals. But Eternals look so stoic,
so gruff and serious.
Yeah, so self-serious. And I'm like, oh, you better be able to poke fun at yourselves, guys, because if you don't, someone else will.
They kind of did that. Do you not think they sort of did that with Thor? They tried to make Thor very seriously for the first 2 films and have him speaking with the proper voice of Thor. And then by the end of the 3rd film, it was taking the mick out of his own voice. You know what I mean? It was like they kind of brought that humor in and it worked. I think it really made the third Thor a lot better.
100%.
So
100%.
as long as Eternals can do the same sort of thing where it might start out a little bit seriously, but we get a bit of fun poking by the end of it, it should be okay.
Yeah. We need a moment of, does mother know you weareth her drapes? we need a little moment of like that, and we'll be
Shakespeare in the Park.
Shakespeare in the Park, exactly. Yeah, I'm being a negative Nancy, but I am all for being surprised. I want to be. That's what I always say. I want to be proven wrong. If I think something's going to suck, I want them to prove me wrong. But you know, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
I just hope they'll let Kit Harington continue to do his voice from Game of Thrones, and I'll be happy. I can't imagine him any other voice now.
No, that would be distracting. It would genuinely be distracting to see him do a different voice. But like, I'm almost surprised that they cast Kit Harington, because it does look so like Game of Thrones in space is kind of what it looks like. So to actually have Kit Harington in it, it's like, oh, they're really doubling down on that. But again, I think it's because I was so underwhelmed by the preview pictures of the Marvel Legends figures. I was like,
they
no
look so
one wants
bad.
to play with these.
Well, we're coming up to the end of the sort of hour, guys. So I just want to throw a quick curveball at you. Which, if you could choose any 2 Marvel Legends that you want this year, anything, what would you want as your 2 favorite Marvel Legends of this year, if you could get them?
Okay, well, I tell you what, I'll give my realistic choices and my unrealistic choices. So 2 that I would really love to see, which I think are perfectly reasonable, are Shriek and Carrion, because I want to complete my damn Maximum Carnage display, and we're so close now. The fact that we got Demo Goblin, which was such a random choice. I thought, oh, well, I'm never going to complete Maximum Carnage because they're never going to do a Demo Goblin figure. And they do a Build-A-Figure of him. So, yeah, we absolutely need Shriek and Carrion. And my 2 completely out-the-box ones that I'll never get are Judas Traveler and Scryer, because everyone would be like, who? Like, come on, man. Judas Traveler. He was a thing in Spider-Man for like a month in the mid-90s. There you go.
I would like to the Spider-Man card back waves. I would love them to finally make Michael Morbius in his animated colors, and Blade from the animated series as well. The way Blade used to look in the animated series, I think would be an awesome figure. Because every Blade figure we've had so far has been sort of the Wesley Snipes modern look. I want the old school look.
Yeah, 70s Blade.
Mm-hmm. Even down to the afro and green jacket, I'd be happy with.
The thing is, I would rather have the afro and green jacket, because that at least is comics Blade, and that's the only thing I'm worried about the Spider-Man retro line, which I love, is like they haven't done a figure that is totally like, this is from the animated series.
Yeah.
Because if they do, then it's like, oh no, you're going to do like a full animated series wave. I don't want to collect animated. I want Marvel comics characters, not animated series characters. I always went back into Macho Man there. I don't want animated series characters, brother. I want comic characters, but we'll see.
But my totally out there bonkers choice would be, recently they've been using Mary Jane in the Spider-Gwen universe as Carnage. How cool would it be to get Mary Jane's Carnage as a figure?
I've not read that. That sounds awesome.
Oh, yeah. It's Gwenum versus female Carnage. Amazing.
Surely it should be Gwenum versus Mary Jarnage.
Marnage.
There you go. What are your suggestions, Brian?
For me, I would love to complete the Lethal Protector team. So I would love to get Agony and Riot to finish off the symbiotes.
Yep.
Totally out there. I don't know. Morph isn't totally out there, but they're never going to make him. So there's one.
There you go.
Well, guys, we are coming to the end of our Marvel Action Hour. So thank you very much for tuning in. This next week, you'll be able to find this same show, same time on David's channel. So David's Model Behavior, please check him out. And of course, we've got Brian's action figures as well. Please check him out. Link in the description. And thank you very much, both of you boys, coming on today. And we'll do it again next time.
Ash, absolute pleasure, my
See you
friend.
later.
I look forward to it next week.
Thanks very much, guys. It was great chatting.
Guys, and then as always, may the force be with you. Bye.